to my next tutorial. Today what I want to talk to you is about Hitfilm Express. Hitfilm Express is a movie editing software or video editing software that I use to edit all my videos. Without internet access, this is the main screen when you go inside Hitfilm Express. When you're using Hitfilm Express, you may want to turn off your internet because every time you open, this is what it does. It will load up a lot of things. Unless you have unlimited data, that's fine. But there's a new update, so it's going to take more than 500 meg, so maybe not now. Maybe not now, I'll switch it off. So this is the main screen for Internet Express. It usually shows you some of the cool things that Hitfilms can do. Yeah, and these are the other things that you need to. You can buy, these are optionals. For now, Hitfilm Express is a free edition, which is really enough for you to do the work you need to do. You don't need to buy extra things. This is the one I'm working on currently for my visit to Singapore. So let's open up and we'll see what's inside there. This tutorial is not to explain in detail all the features, but just to go through with you how to use Hitfilm Express UI. That's the interface. On the next part, we'll show you in more detail how to use the special effects. Okay. Don't worry about that. Now, this is Hitfilm Express. When you come inside Hitfilm Express, you are divided into two parts. One is the left-hand side. I just align this. You have the left-hand side and you have the right-hand side. The left-hand side are your source files. This is the library media. This is where you drag and drop all your required files, or not required if you don't want, you can still put it here to be made available when you want to do your editing. So these are all the files. Whenever you click on something, let's say I click on the flash that you usually see in my videos, you just run it, spacebar, or press this button. Yeah, that's for you to test out what are the things you need. And let's look at this one. This is my introduction that I made for all my videos. Yeah. If let's say you don't want something, you can trim the part that you want. This is trimming. So this is the left part, and this is the right part. This is the right part where you drag the thing from here. Just click and drag it here. So this is where you do all your editing the video. This is a timeline. So wherever you move, it will display the video on the screen above. This is the viewer, and this is the editor. I'll just quickly go through the things that you don't need. I'll skip. 200 levels undo is the best. By default, it's about 100. So you keep as big numbers as you can because you may need this later on. Default template can change later. Let's keep it as 29.97, which is the lens that I use to film the things outside. If they are different, Hitfilm will prompt you a message that you want to use the source or you want to use the default here. Yeah, so this one all can change later. Timeline default for new project is 5 minutes. Now, how do you see this? The first one is the hours, the second one is the minute, the third is a second, and the fourth is the time frame. For this, the time frame is 29. So after 29.97, it turns to 0. Interface. Skip. Display list mode, media panel. This is called list mode. Now, this is list mode, and this is preview mode. There are two options. Preview mode will take longer time to load and takes up some memory. If you don't have a lot of memory, please don't use this. It will slow down everything. Now, go back to options, list mode or preview mode, yeah? So, medium size, video track, audio track. The size is the meaning of this one, medium or small. If you have small, it's never show you the preview. If you have medium, you see the preview here. Now, if you have even bigger, if you have bigger screens, that's what it means. But of course, I would prefer to have medium or 0. Now, audio is the same, similar for audio. You can do it for the audio, small, medium, large, extra large, preview mode, start, and full, none. Yeah, this I leave it for you to play around with. Now, in the audio there, you can turn off or you can turn on. You can lock it so that nobody can change anything that you have already set up. Yeah, or you can set it to a line, or to be the same audio level, the time here. Yeah, this is what it means. Now, that usually goes in pair. When you drag something, that usually goes in pair. Yeah, the audio and the video. Unless you specify you just want audio, you just drag the audio part, and we will not go in pair. Or the video part. Yeah, that will be only the video showing and no audio. So there are quite a lot of cool more features I want to show you. Is the trim. You can trim anywhere you want. Yeah, trimming is important. It allows you to drag and drop certain parts of the video that you don't want or you want to replicate. This is very important, trimming. Very good features. And here you can also change the time to, let's say, 03 minute to adjust the time here if you want something to be more accurate and precise. Otherwise, if sometimes when you move something that jumps too much and you couldn't get it right, you can expand the zoom. You can zoom in here. You zoom in, then you see in more detail into the very frame. when you zoom out, things get very fast when you move the timeline. It can skip by a few frames. But if you go inside the zooming into the depth detail, you will be moving it one frame by frame. Okay, that's the zooming. And what is the magnet doing? This is a magnet. Yeah, the magnet is for you to snap things when they are close to each other. Boom, and you see the two arrows and the red line. That means they are touching each other. If you don't touch, whenever you want to use the special effects that join these two together, it won't join because you don't touch. Let's say I undo the magnet. Yeah, it will just cross over. It won't tell you that it's snapped or joined or next to each other. It won't do that. So let me just undo, Control Z, undo. Okay, let's put everything back together. Undo. Okay, everything back to normal. Now, what is export? Export, there are two types. You export the contents or you export in and out. When you see this light blue area here, let me zoom out. You will see everything now. This is my light blue area. From start to the end is export the contents. But if you change the light blue area to something like this, that means you only want the in and out. This is where you in and this is where you out. This is where the compilation will take place. When you export to MP4, you only export the light blue area. If you want everything, just say everything. You can just drag it to the 0, just like that, drag to 0 like so. Or what you can do is right click, set the content, and everything will be from start to end. Now, if you have something here, or this is like here, if you don't want this and you want a KIV, or you want to say this, you want to rename it to like a KIV, may not be the audio that you want, and suddenly all this KIV is example, right click, paste here, and when you set to content P, it will always fall to the very end of your video. Now, this is not what you want. You want it to be like this. So you will still use the in-out area, because if you use contents, it will include everything from here to 0, or possibly cover everything. So that is not what you want. This is how you use the in and out and the contents. And the KIV is very cool. You can turn it off to put your stuff there. It's like a library track. Now, one thing I want to show you is you can click on this import to import your files, or you can just drag and drop like that. It will do the same thing for you. So usually I will do drag and drop. Now, you can use new composite shot. Composite shot is a combination of many things like movies, JPEG files, text, everything. That's composite shot. Now, and for this, if whenever you want to write text onto the screen, you can just click on the screen anywhere you want and write the text that you want to write over there. So that's for writing text. This is for pointer, where you can move things around. Yeah. Deletes the text that you just added. Hand is to move the display around. Okay. So that is Hitfilm Express. Now, for every part here, there's this thing called the project settings. The size of your screen is a Full HD or HD. The frame rate you want, the higher the frame rate, the bigger the file size. The bigger your resolution, your screen size, the bigger the file. Cancel, and you click on this setting. These are individual settings. See, they may have different frame rate. So whenever you drag something, the Hitfilm will ask you, what do you want to do? Follow or don't follow the source? See, they are different frame rate. This is 30. Okay. If you look at this one, now this is just a WAV file. Okay, it has no video file. Let's say this is the ending. What is this? This is a composite shot. Now let's look at the composite shot. Frame, 30 frames per second. Yeah. Done. Okay, once you finish, you click on export. Let's say, example, I want to export this. I click contents. Now go inside your export screen and see what you see. On the top part is a small size, like a preview or something that you want. You can click on it to export that particular area. If you don't want, you can go to the lower part. And if you have exported something, it will always show you finished. That means the MP4 has been created. And the start time, the elapsed time it takes. So yesterday I was doing this one, and it took me about 2 hours, 13 minutes to complete creating the MP4 jewels. Now this is a new one I just added. Click on it, you can change the file name if you don't like, because by default it's called editor. And this is the presets. Now what is the presets? By default I have changed the presets to high. Presets you can select from here the first time you use Hitfilm. Right click on it, edit the presets. Now, most important thing is look at the bit rate. Target and max bit rate is 12 point. Now I think it's 12.0, it's not comma, it's 12.00 megabit per second. This, for a 15-minute video, will give you about 900 megabyte, which is really too high. And that is why I never use the presets to compile my my before video. I usually create my own. Let's say I click on Turkey High, go inside, edit. The presets I use is 3.9 or 5.11 max is for the megabit rate. This is good enough to hide the boxes when it is in the dark filming. When you're filming in the dark, you will usually see a lot of boxes. This is the good frame rate to use. Otherwise, you can go for something even higher, 7.6 megabit per second, but never go more than that because it will take up a lot of this space. Now, let me give you an example of what I did yesterday. If you go inside here, this is what I used yesterday, and it took about, it requires 442 megabyte. 442 megabyte, 2 hours, 30 minutes to compile for these presets. Yeah, this is giving you an example. If you use higher than this, it will take longer time to compile, bigger disk space required. That is example already told you, 900 megabytes. You can go up to 1 gig, depending on the number of features that you have. Always select your new presets, yeah? Or you can always do a duplicate, right click, duplicate, and edit from there. Keep the aspect ratio. Frame rate, follow the source of your recording. Yep. Set to high, 4.2. If you set to the lower one, you can't use the frame rate here, because the higher the level, the bigger the frame rate the bit rate you can select. Now, initially when you first run Hitfilm, you only have 2 options. This is what it looks like when you go in without internet access. These are the options available. In the view there, you will see 2 things enabled, either the home or the export. The home being the home here, or the export being the export windows. You can have the export running and exporting your programs. While it's doing that, you can choose other different projects and work on it. That is the reason why you have 2 things enabled here. In other words, Hitfilm Express has got 2 UI. One is the exporting UI screen, and the other one is the editing UI screen. But thank you for watching. Well, in my next video, I'll show you how to use more of the features, the special features in all my projects. You will get to see them soon. Thank you. Bye bye.
消息先講到呢度，下節會繼續報導。